You know, it was advertised by private message, so it's a testament to how many people we can get out and how many people care passionately about opposing this lockdown and everything that we're enduring at the moment. Yeah. Dara had a bit of was assaulted last night. Nothing to do with the with the politics of what we're doing. It was just a random assault in the street. But so Dara's very hurt and injured. But he wants to tell his story, tell the story of the Yellow Vests in Galway. And it's important what Dara has done and the journey we've all come. I started out with Dara here in Liam Mellows Monument, and Dara and myself both ran in the election as independents, as Irish traditional nationalists. So this is just a development, and you know, we are in a great position because we are the only people who have permission, who give ourselves permission to oppose the lockdown. Everybody else is in fear and bought and sold into the system, up at Bilderberg, in on the globalism, in debt, and unable to make their own decisions, even if they wanted to. So I'll introduce Dara, and he'll tell the story of where he is at the moment and how we have come to the place we are in now. So we welcome you, Dara. We know that you've had a bad injury last night and that you've been in hospital and that you're on painkillers, but we very much appreciate you coming here tonight after a terrible assault and to come and tell your story. So fair play to you, Dara.
Thanks. Fair play to you, David. And none of this would have been possible without your support through all of this.
Thanks, Dara.
So I guess I should deal with my injuries first. I've got a dislocated shoulder, broken finger, cracked sternum, multiple contusions, black eye apparently. I've got a lot of injuries, and all of those injuries are excuses for me to be not here today. I could have found 40 different reasons to not be here today, to not stand up for our country as our heritage is being sold out. But I didn't. My friends came around me in my time of pain in my bed, and I was licking my wounds, and my friends came around me, and they didn't coerce me. They reassured me, you know, that all you guys will be here today. They reassured me that, you know, there's a lot of support here today. And I'm so happy to see so many of you guys here today. We are the independent people. We are the independent thinkers. We think with our forebrain, you know. We're not stuck in animalistic emotional thought. And even though I have plenty of cause to stay at home, I didn't. I stood up, I crawled out of my bed, I dragged myself into the shower, screaming in pain. I washed myself. I didn't quite shave, but I washed myself, and I got here because it's so important that we stand together around all different causes. Anybody who is trying to bring the plight of the Irish people into the public forum needs to be supported. You don't have to support everything they say, just support some of what they say. And be there, be a number. Be a hand clapper, chant with them, okay? You know, we don't all have the choices to support the people we want in the local area, you know, the people that are exactly aligned with our worldview. But still, you should support the fella that's 40% or 60% aligned with your worldview. So that's the first part. I wanted to talk about me and the Yellow Vests. And it started here 18 or 20 months ago when a certain drug-dealing, wife-beating, people before a profit candidate was trying to use the Yellow Vest movement to have a riot in Galway City. And these people here are very dear to me. I know this town from 20 30 years ago when I was very young. I know the business owners, there's far fewer of them around now than there was years ago, but I still know the families that own the businesses around this town, and they're very dear to me. And it's because of the support that my family got from those businesses. My family would have starved without these people, you know. My dad was self-employed, and he needed the support of his community, and he got it. And today when I look at it, and I see the likes of BLM or Antifa deciding that we need to riot and destroy property and break windows and set fires, this just really, you know, it's not these people's fault. It's the system that they're in. They have no choice. They're entrepreneurs, and they're the people that employ us. They're the people that give us jobs. If there's no millionaires and billionaires, then none of us have jobs. We're all working for the government. So you can't own a property here without being a millionaire. So, you know, I'm very grateful to the business owners around Galway for the support, not just that they've shown me, but that they've shown our community. And I'd say to them, if they're listening, that they need to stand up. They need to. It's not good enough to have us doing your dirty work for you, and you hoping that everything is going to be all right, and it's all going to go back to normal. You actually have to come out and show the government that it's part of your life. Your business is you, and you have to come out and show the government that you're not willing to give it up so easily. Every solution that they have proposed so far is a restriction of personal freedom, be it a face mask, or be it isolation, or be it lockdown, or, you know, everything. There was no talk about vitamins, or there was no talk about exercise or sunshine, the wonderful effects of sunshine on a virus. None of that. It was all personal freedoms being restricted all the time. So I'm looking at that going, there's something very wrong there, you know. Why aren't our ministers telling us about normal, beneficial health, you know? Instead, they're talking about restricting personal freedom. So I started this protest 18 or 20 months ago, right here. I think we had 40 or 60 people, a crowd not dissimilar to this. And we walked up to the county buildings, and we went to the city hall, and we went around by the banks, and we went down Shop Street. And it was a powerful experience. And I have to say that the Gardaí at the time, they were very accommodating. We're not violent. We're not trying to break property. We're not trying to set fires. And they could see it. They could see that we just needed a voice, that we just wanted to speak, that we just wanted to gather together with people who share our values. And it's not fair to call them supportive, because that would prejudice their job. But they gave us the space to do that. They stopped traffic. They wouldn't let people be beeping at us and getting irate with us. They'd just go away, you know. It wasn't that they necessarily supported us, but they provided us the place in which to demonstrate our love for Ireland, demonstrate our love for our heritage. And that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. So when I start, it went on for quite a while. The numbers started to dwindle, and I ended up standing here on my own every Saturday for a year. And the reason I done it was to keep People Before Profit and Sinn Féin from taking this position, from holding this position. They wanted to use the yellow vest flag to have riots in my city, and I could not let that happen. And the only way to not let that happen was to be here every Saturday. So over all that 18 months, you know, wind, rain, it didn't matter. I was here every Saturday. And I think I stopped that drug addict, wife-beating, People Before Profit candidate taking over. I'm pretty sure I did. And I don't know where he is now, but actually I do. He's up in Duishka, but laughing is the worst when you've got broken ribs. So last week, a friend of mine sent me a photograph, and this guy is He's a lifelong friend. He's a great supporter. We don't agree on everything, but we still enjoy each other's conversation. And we debate and we argue, and he's got a new wife and he's got a new family, and it's just, you know, he's just a wonderful human being. And he sent me a photograph from the Yellow Vest website, where it started at the top of the photo. I have it here on my phone. Any of you are welcome to look at it. It started with Yellow Vest Ireland is registered at, and I think it was 44 to 49 Parnell Street. And when he sent it to me, I said, oh, well, it has to be registered somewhere. And he said to me, yeah, but that's Sinn Féin HQ. And my response was, wow, you know. And I had to take some time. I didn't respond immediately after that. It took me some time to figure out my position. I always felt like the Yellow Vests were disgruntled Sinn Féiners that had found a new path and were trying to bring the centre together. But when I saw that, it felt like there was something else going on in the background that I didn't know about. I'm disconnected from Dublin and Wexford, and I'm disconnected from the main committee on the Yellow Vests. But I still held this ground for 18 months and didn't let people before profit take over. So I rang Glenn Miller and I said, Glenn, you know, what's the story there with what Andy Heisman has put up? He put up a photograph of something that was on the website where it said that the Yellow Vest website was based in the same building as Sinn Féin HQ. And the response I got was that that's fake, that Andy had photoshopped it. And I knew this wasn't true, because I am the person that sent the photograph to Andy. So I'm going like, okay, I didn't push back against that. I just wanted to see where it would go. And I didn't send it directly to Andy. I sent it to a friend of Andy, who then sent it to Andy, you know. But I know, I have that photograph here, and I can tell you that it was taken on the 15th, and that I sent it on the 16th, and that Andy made his post on the 17th. So I know exactly where this photograph came from. And the position seems to be, is that a member of the Yellow Vests modified a photograph to impugn the Yellow Vests. I'm like, you know, this is actually the first time that Glenn Miller is hearing this, not alone you guys. I never said this to Glenn. I never said this to anybody in the Yellow Vests. That photograph came from a supporter of mine who is an upstanding member of this community here in Galway. I mean, this guy is an upstanding member of this community. And he did not forge that photograph. So I sent it to another friend of mine, and I obliged them to investigate themselves. I said, you know, this is my photograph, but you should get your own photograph. You should research this. Is that Sinn Féin HQ? Determine that that's Sinn Féin HQ. And they did. And they took a separate photograph of the content on the website. And they determined that that photograph and that address belong to Sinn Féin HQ. Now, I cannot be associated with Sinn Féin HQ. I can't be associated with Sinn Féin at all. I'm well prepared to work with any man who was a Sinn Féiner. And they're standing here behind me right now. And they've seen what's changed. That they're leading us down this path of globalism. I cannot accept it. I'll talk to a lot of people, but I cannot I know Maria, you know, and she's an alright girl. She's an alright girl. But this idea that we can all just wander off into a new multicultural oblivion, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm an O'Flaherty. I'm from Galway. This is our town. We didn't give it up then. We're not giving it up now. And you can take a leap, you know. This is Ireland. We can't be afraid to stand up for our culture, to stand up for our heritage. The pain I'm in today It's a physical pain. I have this physical pain in me, but it means nothing to the torment I've suffered for the last 20 years looking at our culture being given away, being handed out. It's very easy to be virtuous when you're giving out gifts, when you're giving out dole, and you're giving out free houses, and you're giving out free healthcare. It's very easy to be virtuous when you're giving away free gifts. But when you're trying to conserve something that your ancestors gave you so that you can pass it on to the next generation, that's a difficult thing to do. That's hard. That's work. And that's what all you people are here today for. You guys are working hard today. So no more than I came up here with a lot of pain in my chest and arms and legs and every fucking place. Sorry. But you guys decided, you woke up this morning, you said, you know what, I'm going to that protest. I may not agree with Dara, I may not even like Dara, but he's given me a platform where I can speak, where I can be heard, where I can be seen, where I can show that I love Ireland. So even if you don't agree with IFP, if you don't agree with NP, if you don't agree with Síl na hÉireann, if you don't agree with ACI, even if you don't agree with them, if that protest is near you, go there, clap your hands, shout along, because we all want the same thing. We may have different opinion, but that's what a republic is. We stand together with different opinions, we have discussions, and we form conclusions. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get our Ireland back. This is our republic. You have to be a descendant of an Irishman to be Irish. And that's it.
Thanks so much, Dara. I really appreciate you being here, telling the story of one Galway man standing up for what he believes in. So, I'm here, David O'Reilly. I ran in East Galway. Me and Dara ran together in the last election. And people ask us, who are we? And this is what people say. This is what this man over here might be saying. Ye are the far right. Well, we don't believe we're the far right, you know, and that's what people tell us we are. But we stop guessing. Come and talk to us. We'll tell you who we are if you listen to us. But the problem is, you won't listen. The universities don't listen. The media doesn't listen. And what we have come to as an intellect, the intellect of Ireland at the moment, is based on what you can misunderstand. Spin, lies, missing, misinterpreting things, setting up stunts like the Taoiseach did, or Leo Varadkar did yesterday, had someone come along and pour coffee over him. We know that was a stunt to get sympathy for himself, because where was the security? Where was all those people employed to protect ministers who are there all the time? They let the person through, they let them throw the coffee, and they let them get away. And that's the state of public discourse in Ireland at the moment. Nobody listens. People badmouth people, people call people names, but we here are in the Republican tradition of reason and logic. The kind of reason and logic that the universities don't teach anymore. They teach dogma like the Catholic Church used to teach. These people are brain dead who oppose us. The people in the universities, on the media, they are incapable of independent thought. And so is the entire institutions of the state. They are simply there to bully people into accepting things, into compliance. We are a state that is in debt up to our eyeballs. And part of this pandemic is to put more debt on top of us. Why do they want us to be in debt? Because it's a way of bypassing our elected national governments. If you are in so much debt that you depend on the next day for your banks and your institutions of state, your dole, your payments to the councils on the goodwill of the central bank, you are not going to be in a position to refuse any recommendation from international bodies like the World Health Organization, like the EU and the UN. So that's what we have now. We have government by recommendation from God only knows who. We don't know who is making these recommendations about the lockdown. We know that our government is rolling it out, is insisting on compliance, but it's not their plan. They're told what to do, and they can't say no, because every single one of us here owes 30,000 thanks to the bailout. 34,000. So here we have a people who have no reason to trust their government. When I started voting, I think Fianna Fáil was on about 50% and Fine Gael was on about 40%. Now they might be able to muster up about 20% each because nobody trusts them anymore. There are very low trust rates in the Irish government. But all of a sudden, out came the pandemic, and all of a sudden, everybody trusts the government. Everybody trusts RTE. You don't trust them. You're afraid of them. You know that what they're telling you is lies. Let you go along with it. Why? Because you're afraid. And RTE is the virus. I was afraid. When this thing came out, I thought, wow. And I'm the kind of fellow who doesn't go to the doctor even when I should. I'm not really interested in medical things. They don't get me going. My wife's into all of that, and she does that. But I don't. So I was a little bit worried. And along came the pandemic. And was it 50,000 people were supposed to die? And after a couple of weeks, nobody was dying. Nobody died. In fact, the death rates have fallen. 5% less people have died this year than a comparable period last year. Now, everybody here, you have all been fed a lie. You've been fed a story, a narrative. You've been fed the narrative that we are conspiracy theorists, that we believe that the virus is fake, and that's what you've all been told. We know that, because when we give out the leaflets which tell you what we actually think so that you can stop guessing, you refuse them, because you don't want to listen, because you're afraid. You know, like these guys here coming out of the universities that teach people not to think, not to understand, not to use logic and reason. And we have institutions of the state that also teach these things. Now, hey, lads, let's not get involved. These people are here so that nobody listens. These people are here because they don't believe in free speech. They are totalitarians and they are fascists. We will talk to you and tell you what we think. These guys are here to stop you. And we've had this all over the country. Everywhere we go, the media shut us down. The courts shut us down. Gemma O'Doherty and John Waters took a case to the High Court. saying every single one of our constitutional rights, our inalienable constitutional rights, have been taken away in this pandemic. Every single one of them. And the judges, who should be the guardians of the law, are now the people who shut everything down. They are supposed to be people who are trustworthy, righteous and ethical. They are state appointees who are there to toe the party line. And they shut down that court case. But Michael O'Leary, he went with exactly the same court case, and he knows he is not going to lose. So that tells you something about us. We are public enemy number one. This state invests more effort in stopping you from listening to us than any other body of people. So who are we? We are traditional Irish nationalists who believe in our heritage and our religion. You know, now, what is the Irish Republic? What does that flag mean? It means that the people who are here in Ireland are united in peace to serve an Irish vision. To serve an Irish vision. Who are the globalists? Who are the people we oppose? They are the people who included us in the British flag. The Irish, the Welsh, the Scottish and the English are all included, but in a very different way. They're included in a British flag. And that was so that the resources of the Irish people, the Scottish people and the Welsh people could all be channeled towards a London vision, of an English vision. That is globalism. It's very, very simple. That is empire. When you see one little star on the European flag representing Ireland, you know that that is not the vision of the Irish Republic. That is a completely different vision. That is a vision of empire and globalism. That is a vision which seeks to unite all the people of Europe in a Brussels vision, in a globalist vision, in a Bill Gates vision, in a Epstein Island vision, in a satanic vision. We don't hear about any of this stuff because it is slavery. It is intended to draw us all and our resources and our wealth into somebody else's profit, into somebody else's vision. That is why we stand by the vision of the Irish Republic, the Irish flag. We are nationalists. We are Irish nationalists. Of course we believe that other people should be included in our culture and in our society. But they are included in order to serve that vision, the Irish vision. We are not afraid of intermarriage. We are not afraid of mixed race children. But those children should serve that vision if they want to be Irish nationalists and to serve the vision of the Irish Republic. People are being brought here who will never ever serve that vision. Never. There are people who are arriving in Ireland today who serve imperialistic visions, Sharia visions, people who will never ever submit to the vision of the Irish Republic. They are here to enslave it. They are in here to turn it into a servant of another vision, of a European vision, of a globalist vision,
of an Islamic vision. But none of those are going to succeed as long as we serve the Irish flag. We are Irish nationalists. We do not march behind the rainbow flag. The rainbow flag is not this. You know, why do you need to invade a country when you can take over its natural resources? You can enslave its people to ditch. You can turn its women against its men and teach its children to be non-sexual, to make their children sexually available for sexual assault. You know, to teach these things, you are destroying that nation. You are destroying those people. And these people, these totalitarians that oppose us, they don't believe in a future for our families. Extinction Rebellion. This flag does not plan for extinction. This flag plans for the nurture and the support of Irish families and Irish people. It nurtures a birth rate above 2.1%. Back in the 30s, Irish women produced more children than they produced 4.7 children each. That was what the Irish vision was: to prosper, to grow, to be happy, for young women to have children in their 20s. And that will settle you down. That will make you happy, because you will have the support that you need and a house over a roof over your head. You have been sold abortion and gay marriage, and you have accepted it in the place of housing, health, and your wealth. They took down your wages and they put up your rents. That is globalism. And what did they sell you? They sold you abortion and gay marriage. And I'm not afraid of gay people. I don't even resent them getting married. What I do resent is that you sold the Irish Republic for gay marriage and abortions, and it's a very, very bad deal. A very bad deal. You're suckers. You have been suckered. You sold your future for nothing. You sold the future of the Irish Republic for nothing, for emotions and feelings. I wonder how Pádraig Pearse was feeling walking into the GPO. You don't base your identity on how you feel. Your identity is given to you by this, the Constitution of the Irish Republic. You don't make it up as you go along. You, back in the 70s and 80s, you couldn't even buy land in Ireland if you weren't an Irish citizen. If you didn't have an entitlement to Irish citizenship. You couldn't even buy one scrap of Irish land. That was before the EU. And they were saying, oh, everything will be all fine. We sold our entire country within 30 years. And now we have a pandemic being rolled out to us. Only 74 people have actually died of COVID. Only 74 people. You know, if you are a child and you get COVID, you have a 1 in 3.5 million chance of dying. If you get COVID, you have a 99.99% chance of surviving. Those masks do not work, and you know They don't work. The reason why you're wearing them is because it is your new religion. This is science fiction. And you are believing in it because you've got nothing else to believe in. You've got nothing else to believe in but yourselves. Well, let me tell you, God acts. God saved Ireland from the British Empire, and God will act to save it again. You know, the new religion is creating the highest rates of suicide in this county. The new religion of lockdown has caused far more deaths by suicide than by deaths from COVID. Those tests that you all watch RTE for, that come out every night, like, what was it, the numbers, the lotto numbers. Now it's the COVID numbers. Entertainment, panic, fear, excitement. Oh, let's all have a little thrill, a little bit of a horror movie, you know. Those numbers are nonsense. 90% of the tests, that those COVID tests are false positives. 90% false positives. This lockdown is about something else. This lockdown is about control. It's about getting all you people to obey, to be compliant, to comply with the new world order. We're having the Great Reset, aren't we? What they want is they want every Irish people, every Irish person on the other end of the internet with a credit card buying things off Amazon. That's why they're shutting down this economy. They're shutting this economy down over a handful of deaths that don't even come up to the rate of suicide. Because they want a different economy. Just like at the time of the famine and the time of the flight of the Earls, they wanted to change the Irish economy. They wanted a change in the population of Ireland as well. And that's what we're seeing. And most of those people are brought here to serve that globalist vision. And very few of them will serve the vision of the Irish Republic. Very few of them will stand up against globalism, against the empire, against Bill Gates, and against the surveillance that is coming. You all know that this is going to be a surveillance state. We're all standing so far apart, we're all complying, we're all being asked to comply so we can be watched. Our cash is going to be taken away from us, you know, and we are all going to be like in 1984. We are going to be unable to resist complying with the authorities of the state. In China, if you walk across those traffic lights there, facial recognition will spot you, will record that you broke the traffic lights, and will automatically deduct money from your bank account. That's where it's all going. None of us will have any say over our lives, and that is what is being planned. And all these lefty totalitarians who think they're great rebels, who are here to stand up to the fascists, us, we are not fascists. We are trying to save you from totalitarianism. We are Irish nationalists. We stood up to the British Empire, and we will stand up to the globalist empire. And the fight back starts now with ending the lockdown. We gave out 1,000 leaflets in Galway City. 1,000 leaflets. People call us conspiracy theorists. Well, we put out the leaflet Stop guessing what we believe. Stop listening to what RTE tells you. Read the leaflet. You'll find out what we are. We'll tell you. We oppose totalitarianism. And all these trendy college kids here who think they're rock and roll, we knew what rock and roll was. You know, it was about freedom. It was about freedom. Not these totalitarians here who are incapable of free thought, who follow dogma, who can't argue, who can't reason. All they can do is shut things down. Well, anyway, I won't go on forever. Maybe I should. Well, you will hear the line that we are far right because we are public enemy number one because of what we are doing here now.
Because we're right.
All you feminists out there, we follow a strong woman. I follow the leadership of a strong woman.
Woo!
That woman's name is Gemma O'Doherty. You know, and you know, we are called far right. Her YouTube channel was shut down. Why? Because she's a threat to the totalitarianism of the state. You know, people call us far right. They want you not to listen to us because we serve this flag and the vision of the Irish Republic. We join with all the nationalists around the world who are opposing globalism and totalitarianism. There are people here married to women from the Philippines and from Mexico. And in the Philippines is a man called Duterte. He's a nationalist. In Poland, there's another nationalist. In Hungary, there's a man called Orban. Yes. In Russia, there is Putin. In India, there is Modi. We are not isolated. Ireland is a sucker to the Democratic Party of the United States, to the Clintons, and to Epstein Island, and all that's going on there. We are here to protect our children. You know, these globalists, who are they? We know that there is a place called Epstein Island. We know from what the rock musicians and the pop stars are saying that they are very corrupt, evil people. You know, they are torturing children, killing them, eating babies. This is not conspiracy. This is out. Everybody knows about Hollywood and what's going on. These are very evil people. And the world leaders are flying in to Epstein Island to participate in humiliating and hurting children. They are nasty, evil people who are practicing for what they have planned. Who are these people? They are the world leaders. And we are trusting them with this fake pandemic. And all the college kids here believe them. You know, they know what's going on, they hear it, but yet they support their policies. Whose policies are they? The policies of Burger King. You know, Black Lives Matter, Extinction Rebellion, Love is Love. Who are those people? I'll tell you who they are. Burger King, you feckin' idiots. Following the policies supported by Burger King. The Cartoon Network, you know, the Premiership. Would that not give you a bit of a clue how much you're being suckered, you silly children? You know, these are the people leading you, you know. Corporate billionaires that show up on Epstein Island. Those are the people of the hashtags that you follow. You are being completely suckered, and I'm not here to hurt you or harm you, because I actually care about you, and I want you to wake up. I was like you when I was young. I nearly got suckered in to the liberal establishment and the liberal agenda. You know, the whole gay thing was starting, and people were starting to do surgery to change their genders. Thank God I got delivered out of that. I found my faith, and all these people around here, I know them all, most of them believe in God. Most of them are spiritual people here. Most of them Christians. Some of them not Christians. But they believe in God. They oppose the wicked. And they pray for their people and their nation. And if you want to join us, you'll do that. And before we end here, we'll say the Our Father. Our traditional heritage will be spoken here. That's who we are. Traditional Irish nationalists with the vision of the Irish Republic. People will tell you that we're far right. And what's happened to our movement, us nationalists here, is that some of us want to be accepted by the establishment. Some of us believe that if we could only edge into the mainstream and RTE would only put us on the panels, people would listen to us and they would join us. But that's not going to happen. What has happened in our movement is that some people, Renua, IFP and a few of the others, have said, look, we're sensible people, not like those far-right people, not like Seal Naharan, not like ACI. You know, they're quite happy to throw us under the bus so that they'll be okay. They'll be accepted by the mainstream. But you know what? Once you've conceded the pillars of nationalism, once you've conceded to the LGBT agenda, once you've conceded to globalism and population replacement, you've not a whole lot left to negotiate about. So we are not looking for acceptance by the mainstream. We will continue to say that RTE is the virus. We will continue to oppose globalism. We will continue to oppose the Great Reset, totalitarianism, and the government of our people bypassing our national government that we voted for by recommendation from the World Health Organization, from the EU and the UN. So here, we'll finish up. Will we do any more, have we much more to say there? Any other speakers? Will we say the flag and sing the flag? Or will we sing it? Okay, before we go, people ask us who we are and what we do. Well, here we go. This is what we are and what we do. We'll say the Lord's Prayer. We'll say it over our square, like it's been said for many, many, many generations. Do not think that this will change. This is the language of rebels, the Our Father. This is the language of people who stood against empires, who stood against evil, and will stand against the wicked and the evil again. Let's say it together in English. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. May your kingdom come. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And we'll sing the national anthem as well. Sheena Fianna Fáil, and we'll see can we get the key right. Sheena Fianna Fáil, atá feirní éireann, wind as blue, tá tenda running home, famous blessing, Shantino Shinse Fasta, the Hata Fantira Nafinta, Anata Ensa, Panawe, Legena, Geko, Baslusil, Legun, Iskrek, Filawak the Pillar, Sholif Kaide, around the field. We've done it all now, fair play, and we're going to march down through Shop Street. God bless us all, and thanks very much to everybody turned out. Thanks very much for everybody listening. Get in touch with us. It's important that any one of you listening who agrees with us gets in touch. Give your number to some of the people here, because we don't advertise. You know, we are a community of people who support each other, who are going to win this country back. You know, get your number to somebody here and get yourself informed about get connected, get in the bubble, get in our bubble, and we'll save Ireland. God bless you all. Amen.